What's up, class? Evans here. I have my goodbye message for you, but before I say it, I've got like 2 or 3 announcements. So first is registration for your sophomore year. Don't forget that even though you signed up for classes while you were in my class and the counselors talked to you, your parents still have to register you. I just registered my kids a few weeks ago, actually. Your parents may have already registered. You should just double check. When I registered my kids, I actually had to get my password reset because I forgot all that stuff, and your parents maybe too. So in the message just above, like right above my video, you'll see a link and a phone number for them so they can get you registered and go through that process. It's under the Parent Access Center, and I think the button for it was, if I remember correctly, was like in the upper right-hand corner was a button that said register. And then they go through the whole process of that stuff. 2 would be the engineering notebooks. I put, I think, just about all of your notebooks on the side. Some of you had asked for your notebooks, and I labeled them and turned them into the ILC so that you could pick them up. But if you never asked for your notebook, I just put them all on the side in a cabinet, and of those that were still in my classroom. And if you want that for next year, I'll probably communicate with your future engineering teachers at Harlingen High School if you still want those. Or if you're not going to engineering, you can send me a message about that if you want your engineering notebook back. I still have it in my classroom, and I'm assuming that we'll start next year in classrooms. I really hope. It's getting ridiculous, so I hope we can start back in our classrooms. So I do have them on the side if you left them in my classroom, and I'm going to try to get them back to you by communicating with the teachers at Harlingen High School, Mr. Tennyson and Mr. G, and then the teacher that is at Harlingen South, sorry, whose name escapes me because this is his first or second year, so I don't know him as well. His name starts with a B. He's an interesting guy. You should ask him stuff about what he did in Alaska and for the oil field. So that aside, if you haven't checked your grades, do look in the post just below. I did post your grades. It shows you what you made last semester, what you made last quarter before spring break, and then what you made this quarter, and what semester grade that gave you, and what you have for the year. And anything that's 0.5 rounds up. So if you got like a 89.5 or a 69.5, that does round up. So all those messages done. Let me move to my goodbye message, which I wrote down here. So if you see me looking to the side a lot, I'm looking at that. So this is my last video for you, which is both happy and sad for me. Happy because I've really been working long hours. It's kind of hard to work from home. Maybe you notice the same thing, that you might find it difficult to do your schoolwork at home. For me, it's difficult because I have no place to shut down. Like when I left the school, I drove away and I came home. So there's like a physical disconnection. But when I'm here, work and house in the same place, it does make it hard for my brain to kind of shut off being a teacher and then going to be a dad. So it's very challenging. And I've spent a long hours constructing lessons for you, recording and editing videos, which I learned a lot about editing just from making mistakes. And I actually, for some dumb reason, took a training course on Edmodo to become a certified trainer so that I could learn more about Edmodo. And so I was even a student while we were doing this, and I completed this like 2 weeks ago, I think. I spent like 17 hours on it. It was a lot of work, and I did learn a few things, and I'd probably run my school at home class differently and how you guys turned in and received lessons. I'd still do all the video stuff because that I think is very important. And the video posting actually was part of the training. They wanted you to do videos. So I was like, oh, this is great. I already know how to do this. But I still spent like 17 hours working on it. And then I spent countless hours grading your essays, and I'm a slow reader. Read some of your essays multiple times because I would get distracted and I'll go back and read it again to make sure that I was giving you a correct grade. And spent a lot of time contacting you guys to see if you needed help, if you were falling behind, what I could do to help you. So it was a lot of time on my end trying to help you guys. It's not time that I regret, so don't think like, oh, poor Mr. Evans. Like, no, I'm your teacher, so I'm dedicated to teaching you. But it is kind of sad sad to leave this year behind because it ended so strange. Never anything like this before, so it's weird. I do remember when I was a teacher, there was like a swine flu pandemic people were scared about, and we actually stopped going to school for a couple of days, and then the state forced us to go back to school. So we had like, I think 4 days of extra spring break, something like that. We called it a swine break. But we came back on a Friday, and we didn't, like, there wasn't any extra lessons. There wasn't any school from home or anything like that. So it was much shorter. So this is totally different. And nothing like this as probably anyone you know has ever experienced something like this. It's all new for everyone. But the thing about saying goodbye, which is strange, is we're not in person. So it's kind of like a lack of closure, because there's not a physical goodbye where we can see each other and say goodbye, where you can say goodbye to your friends in person. And so I really encourage you to say goodbye to me and to your friends in the comments section below of this post. You can post a video, I think. You can post a picture, send a message. I really hope that you've learned a lot about engineering during this time and about yourself. You've probably learned a bit about yourself when you're in this weird time of seclusion. And I hope, whether you know God or not, that you would consider finding and knowing your Creator and Savior in the Bible. And I hope you choose to be a lifelong learner. Never stop learning. Once you get out of school, don't stop learning. Keep learning. What you put into your brain can never be taken away. You can lose your health, you can lose money, you can lose items. But your knowledge, it's always there. Even if it's sometimes hard to find and it takes you a while to remember, it's always there and it can never be taken away from you. Goodbye for now, my class.